welcome you to this broadcast of Girls OHSA Sectional Final Basketball on NKTelco Sports. We are here at Sidney High School where the Bradford Railroaders will take on the Russia Raiders. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, the Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, and NKTelco. You're looking live at the Hive right now. My name is Brandon Coburn, alongside me, Jeff Hinchin, and we have a sectional final matchup here between Bradford and Russia. And Jeff, first taking a look at the Bradford Railroaders, they are winless on the season. Under first-year head coach Josh Seedlin, trying to strike an upset here tonight of Russia.
Yeah, no doubt. They're the underdogs, winless on the season, as you mentioned. They don't average a lot of points. They give up a lot. It's just everything going in the wrong direction. So Coach Seedling has his work cut out for him in his first season, and they're going to have to, go up against a very, very good Russia team that elected to play a early game in the tournament against Triad, where they won, and then Bethel was awarded the seed, how the brackets all kind of played out. So they haven't played a tournament game yet, but they're going to play extremely well here against a very good Russia team.
And the Raiders tonight, under second-year coach Paul Bremgen, trying to get that 20th win here. And heavy favorites here, yes, over the Railroaders, but they're playing really well.
Yeah, they've won 7 in a row. Had a rough stretch in the middle of the season where they lost like 3 out of 4, but have really played good basketball as of late.
We'll step aside for our national anthem. Come back with starters and keys next on NKTelco Sports.
I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique, in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Let's introduce our starting lineups, brought to you by Emerson Climate Technology. First for the Russia Raiders in their gold road uniforms. A 5'9" senior, number 3, C.C. Borchers, first team all Shelby County honoree this year.
On the point, a 6-foot junior, number 4.
6-foot junior, number 4, Ronnie Poling.
At guard, 6'1" senior.
6'1" senior, number 13, Kate Sherman. First team all Shelby County selection.
At guard, 5'6" senior.
5'6" senior, number 14, Reese Gubo, a second team all Shelby County honoree.
At guard,
5'5", junior number 20, Jayla Shappy. Raiders are coached by second-year head man Paul Bremichen, assisted by Rachel Borchers, Tracy Schultze, Christy Borchers, Luke Dapor. And now the Emerson Climate Technology starting lineups first for the Bradford Railroaders.
At guard, a
5'5" senior, number 1, Shaylee Swick.
At guard, a 5'7" senior.
5'7" senior, number 5, Isabella Hamilton.
At guard, a 5'7" freshman.
A 5'7" freshman, number 14, Riley Dotson.
At guard,
A 5'5" senior, number 23, Cheyenne Buchanan. And rounding out the lineup, number 33, a 6'1" junior, Brooklyn Crickmore. The first-year head coach of the Bradford Lady Railroaders is Josh Seedling. He is assisted by Haley Lear. Let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Kegel Pizza in Newport, Ohio. Jeff, first taking a look for the Russia Raiders.
The visitors on the scoreboard, the Raiders, they want to put ball pressure on defense and also play good deny defense. And on offense, good ball movement, force the Bradford to chase them and control the boards. Don't give them any second shots. And for the home team on the scoreboard tonight, Bradford, they have to be able to handle the pressure that Russia puts on them. And then they also have to play alert defense. That good ball movement, they've got to make sure their head's on a swivel so they don't get burnt back door. And on the offense, take some good shots. It's going to be tough to come by, so make sure you're ready to shoot, get good shot selection, and you got to knock them down.
The refs for tonight are Mark Himmiger, Matt Himmiger, and Jeff Keckler. As we start, and up and in is Ronnie Poling, who scores, and the Raiders start pressing immediately. Riley Dotson bringing the basketball up the floor. Dotson, the freshman, gets over to Hamilton. Hamilton, there's a timeout quickly by Coach Josh Seedling. All timeouts brought to you this year on NKTelco Sports are brought to you by Precision Strip, as we thank them for being our sponsor all year on NKTelco. Our additional sponsors are Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Park National Bank, SecureCom, and the St. Henry Bank. We'd also like to remind you that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring replays of girls high school basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 and HD on Channel 503. Catch the replays of this game Tuesday, March 14th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, March 18th at noon. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and nktelco.com/sports. So Bradford sees the pressure right away there, Jeff, out of the precision strip timeout, and they take a timeout.
Yes, Coach Seedling obviously saw something he didn't like, and the pressure defense gives a lot of teams problems, not just Bradford. And usually the good teams are very good at causing the issue and the turnovers, and Coach Seedling wanted to, at least for right now, you got 5 timeouts. He's going to use his first one and try to limit the damage.
Oh, there's a foul on Ronnie Poling here quickly. Crickmore catches it just in the backcourt, trying to get around Sherman. Crickmore, 6'1" junior, was a player on last year's team that was district runner-up. Get the ball on the inside to Dotson. Dotson throws up the shot off the mark, rebound down to Poling. Shappy pushing the break, going up that right side, up against Crickmore. Shot's no good. Crickmore trying to clear the boards, but can't quite do it. Raiders will retain possession.
2 possessions for Russia, 2 quick shots. They're going to get another look here in this possession, but so far their offense, although it's been limited, has been a high, quick octane, fast-moving offense for the Raiders, and they've been playing some good basketball. You mentioned the 7 wins. They had that rough stretch in there, but one of those big wins came at the end of the regular season when they beat Fort Loramie in league play. There's a travel violation, but you want to be playing your best basketball, and Fort Loramie is the number 1, or I should say number 2 ranked team in the state, and Russia got them 43-40 at home, but nonetheless, huge way to end up the season.
There's a pass picked off by C.C. Borchers on that pass from Crickmore. Crickmore, a nice defense last possession, and Izzy Hamilton, senior, steals it right back. Hamilton gives up to Cheyenne Buchanan. Buchanan goes on that right side looking for her senior classmate Swick, and she tragged the pivot foot and turns it over.
Bradford, you mentioned district runner-ups last year, so obviously had success last year. This year, winless as we mentioned, but they do have 4 seniors on the team, so you give those girls credit for sticking around, if you will, and and participating for their senior year, and hasn't been easy, but they continue to compete, and good turnaround by Kate Sherman.
Sherman up and in, and Bradford in that zone. They're trying to move the basketball around it. As the Raiders apply that pressure, they get it up ahead to Buchanan. Buchanan up ahead to Crickmore.
Right idea.
Swick picks it up, throws up the shot, off the mark. Poling clears the boards.
Well, they did a nice job, did Bradford. I think it was the pass inside just wasn't caught, so they would have had a good look, and Rushi answers again, quick fashion.
And that's a 3 by Reese Guba. She's done that many times over the years.
Pretty good percentage, of 39% from that range. So, Reese Gubo is a nice threat from the outside. You have Sherman and Poling on the inside. So they have a lot of things you need. And they got Borchers, who's a tall point guard that can create some issues there as well. So not that Borchers is always the point guard, but she can handle it. And some good athletes.
Right on the inside, Ronnie Poling up and in. Raiders up 9-0 on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard as Hamilton brings the basketball up the floor. Crickmore trying to help her out, gives it back over to Cheyenne Buchanan. Buchanan stops, probably got away with a walk, but she turns it over anyway. Up ahead to Sherman. Sherman hacked by Crickmore.
Oh, intentional.
Crickmore is going to get an intentional foul.
Yeah, you don't really need to see that. I mean, I don't know if she meant to do it. That's the risk you play. I mean, yeah, just glad everyone's got up and no one really got hurt. But those are types of things where was it even necessary? You just got to think of the risk to reward. And Sherman, luckily healthy, hits the first of the two.
A couple of substitutions coming in. First for the Bradford Railroaders, number 10, Avery Hellman, a sophomore. And coming in for the Raiders is number 22, senior Simone Putoff, who came back in her first game since, I believe, the 7th game of the season. And it's a much-needed spark for the Raiders. A senior, you're glad you see a senior coming back and playing.
Yeah, it's
again.
Good for her, able to come back and still participate after having to take some time off. So hopefully she can contribute and help the Raiders offense and offense and defense.
Ronnie Poling cleans that shot up on the weak side. She got half the Raiders' output here.
6 points now for Poling, 3 for 3 from the field. She averages 7 points a game, so she has that almost here in the first 3 minutes of basketball.
Buchanan trying to go on a beeline to the basket, turns it over. Raiders up ahead. Gubo on that left side, gets it into Poling, and Poling's got 8. And it's another timeout by Coach Josh Seedling. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with him. 5:05 to go in the first. It's Rushi 14, Bradford nothing here on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
Back here in NKTelco Sports, out of the Precision Strip timeout, the Rushi Raiders asserting their authority over the Bradford Railroaders here early, Jeff.
Yeah, they got off to maybe a bit of a slow start. The Raiders had a couple of buckets, but had some turnovers, but as of late, they've been creating some turnovers and stepped on the line. And that's what that pressure defense does. It just speeds the game up, I think, too fast for teams that aren't really ready for that. This isn't leisure basketball. It's high school. It's open class. You can do what you want. And Rushi forces a tempo and a pace. And, boy, Sherman's having a nice start as well. Her and Poling really dominating the Raider offense. And Poling with 5.
They're using their twin towers, so to speak, to really...
Yeah, 6'1" and 6 foot, and Sherman and Poling.
And Hamilton loses the basketball. Swick and Hamilton steal it right back. Swick over to Hamilton, back to Swick. Swick tries a 3 from the corner. And it's off the iron, and Gubo up ahead to Sherman. Sherman loses the basketball. Nice defense in transition by Hellman. Kelby Dosek and Addison Shappy in the lineup for the Raiders.
Raiders 4 turnovers in the first quarter now, albeit they have already a 16-point lead, but they have committed 4 turnovers themselves. And
Dotson gets the basketball in the corner, straddles that baseline. Dotson gives it back up over to Hamilton. Hamilton back over to Buchanan. Buchanan trying to go on a line to the basket. Swick with it in the corner. Swick over to Hellman. Bradford able to break that pressure, tries to get it to Dotson in the corner, but the Railroaders turn it over. 16-0 here our score. 4:13 to go in the first quarter. Sectional final basketball. Brandon Coburn and Jeff Hinchin giving you the action. We'll have the second game soon after between Mississinawa Valley and Botkins. Kelby Dosek with the ball on the inside, up and in. Kelby Dosek, senior, 4th different player to score this quarter.
Nice shot off the glass. Her first 2 points, like you mentioned, but she averages 3 points on the season, so that's good offense for her getting in here in the first quarter and nailing the shot.
And there's a tie-up right there. Ball stay with the Railroaders. We'll take it out right in front of Coach Paul Bremingen, who picked up his 500th win this year. One of 85, I believe, basketball coaches in OHSA history to accomplish that feat. Shappy gets a steal for the Raiders, up and fouled by Dotson. And Shappy will shoot 2.
Another turnover, that's the 8th against the Railroaders. And free throws coming up here for Addison Shappy, a sophomore getting some early minutes here in the first quarter. Averages 2 points a game for the Raiders.
And Shappy got more playing time along with Jayla Shappy after that. Really, injuries started to pile up for the Raiders. They lost some home put off there, which they thought was going to happen for the season. And then they lost Grace Holscher to a torn ACL. It's the second shot's no good. Hellman with the rebound. And they lost Grace Holscher to a torn ACL. They lost Maya Mon into a foot injury. And then they also lost Carly Scott to an injury as well. So it added up there for the Raiders for a while in terms of injuries.
Yeah, it gave many people a chance to an opportunity. You never like to see your teammates get hurt. But when those opportunities comes, those other people that maybe wouldn't have got it get a chance.
Gubo, money from the outside.
2 for 2 from that range tonight. We talked about on the season, she's just under 40% from that range, so a very good 3-point shooter.
Buchanan with the basketball. Buchanan goes up that right side, trapped by the Raiders, and the Raiders will keep possession. A 22-0 Raider lead as a couple substitutions. Claire Hill, freshman. Bella Brewer, a senior, in for the Raiders. Ronnie pulling back in for the Raiders.
So is it appropriate now that you teach at Bradford to call them the Roaders?
It is.
Okay, because I'm like, Railroaders, that's like a mouthful, and you're saying the Roaders, I'm going to call them the Raiders, and it's the Railroaders and the Rail Raiders. So it's okay, just they're known as the Roaders?
Yes, they're the only known high school in the country with the name Railroaders, which happened because they had a big railroad station that went through there that got torn out in 1985. Shot's no good, and Poling not able to quite clean up, but Dosek cleans it up right there. And it got torn out in 1985, but that was what the town was known for, was that railroad.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and President Woodrow Wilson visited on that railroad back in 1912, and as a history teacher, you know I share that fact often.
Did you know that before you took the job at Bradford?
I did not until I was doing my research before my interview, actually.
That's a good job. That's all you call prepping for the interview.
And
need information. So
yes. Always famous Bradford Pumpkin Show there, as well as
that's a whole week-long thing.
Ronnie Poling scores up there. If you ever want to go to the Bradford Pumpkin Show, it's an interesting experience. Confetti will get thrown in your face after a certain time at night. And it's a fun experience. It's neat. It's not your typical town festival, but it's one that you got to go to at least once in your life.
Don't they have parades and such every night?
A parade every day of different sorts. As Poling cleans up on the weak side, it's 30-0 Raiders here.
And she has 14 points, I believe.
She does. And Dotson with the basketball. Dotson goes up to her classmate Claire Hill.
Trying to think whose shot did she rebound? Dosek?
Yep.
Okay. I never finished it down. I saw my score sheets filling up for pulling here in the first quarter. She's going to add to it.
Up ahead, pulling, fouled on the floor, no shot.
Well, that's a smart thing to do that time. You're going to foul someone. Foul them before they go up. I don't know why so many people try to block shots and commit to foul then. 95% of the time you don't block the shot. And most times you commit to foul. Why not try to make the steal or the bump, if you will, at the elbow or the hash mark where it's on the floor and you don't give them a free throw? That was probably by accident there, but why not commit to fouls earlier before you give them a shot?
And Daphne Levy in the lineup for Bradford, and Jayla Shappy fouled and will go and shoot 2. 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Hershey 30, Bradford nothing.
Hellman, her first foul, and 3 of the 4 fouls have all been shooting fouls here for Rushi. So they've taken advantage of those personal fouls with already their 3rd trip to the line here. And as you mentioned, the 30 points. Still 1:10 to go in the quarter.
Shappy good on the first free throw. And they push this game back due to the Rushi boys playing Mississinawa at the Piqua Sectional opening round there tonight down at the Garberry Gymnasium. Shappy's second free throw is good.
You mentioned the 7 wins, or we talked about 7 wins in a row, how they finished beating Fort Laramie. Well, they had a big win the game before that against Versailles.
Yeah.
A quality team in one of those rivalry games, the 2 communities. And so back-to-back wins, I would say big quality wins to end the season.
Yeah. And that win against Fort Laramie, again, only their 2nd loss in the regular season. The only other team they lost to in the regular season was Ottawa Glandorf. And Laramie, of course, goes back response and beats Liberty Benton and Marion Local in a span of a couple of days. So it's a quality win for the Raiders.
Yeah, and that guaranteed them, or that it did cost them the league title, or they finished 2nd.
Yes, they finished 2nd. So that game really didn't matter for the league. It was just to go out and play right before tournament. Shot so good by Gubo on the inside. It's kicked out again to Gubo off the offensive rebound. Shot is no good. Rebound down to Brooklyn Crickmore. Crickmore going to bring it up court.
That's their first rebound of the game. Defense. Well, either way.
Huh.
So either Rushi's either scored it or kicked, had a turnover. And down here, they haven't had any offensive rebounds. So tough quarter. There's a foul on the Raiders.
Riley Dotson will go to the free throw line.
Addison Shappy with the foul on the 3-point shooter. So a chance here for the Roaders to dent the scoreboard. Who were some of the players last year that played basketball that they would have graduated? Miller?
Ostie Miller. Alexis Barhorst is another one I knew that played on that team. I'm trying to think of the other players. Ostie averaged 22 and a half a game.
She was ahead of the snake then.
She was a very good player. Dotson hits the first one. She misses the second one.
And then she's also a very good softball player that now playing for the OU Bobcats with her sister.
Yep, and actually a player on this team, Isabella Hamilton, was a part of that 2021 state championship team that they had. And she played right field on that team, and Bradford made it again to the state Final Four last year. A very good softball tradition over there at Bradford. And Dotson goes 2 of 3 from the line. Also, Riley Cannon was on that team as well.
Oh, yep.
Another player that graduated off that team.
When they were in the 6th grade, not Corey, that's her uncle, Carrie Cannon, her dad brought that bunch over to New Knoxville, and we scrimmaged 6th grade basketball with those girls you mentioned and New Knoxville 6th graders, and it was a good battle.
Yeah. And that's the end of 1, and the Rushi Raiders lead the Bradford Railroaders 32-2. We'll come back to the second quarter of action here next on NKTelco Sports.
We are here, and here, and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is
job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
8 minutes in the books here at the Hive at Sidney High School. Sectional final action between the Russia Raiders and the Bradford Railroaders, and the Raiders well in control after one quarter, ahead 32-2.
13 of 21 were the Raiders from the field. That included 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. They were 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Big quarter from Ronnie Poling, 14 of the 32 points. She was 7 of 8 from the field, all those shots coming in the paint. So a nice quarter for number 4, Ronnie Poling.
Raiders get the basketball on the inside to Sherman. Sherman battling with Crickmore. Up ahead over to Borchers. Borchers up ahead to Kate Sherman. Shot is short. Riley Dotson is fouled by Jenna York on the rebound. The Raiders, again, 14 points from Poling in that quarter.
Double her season average is 7, so she's increased that. But, yeah, it was really unstoppable. And some great looks, and she cashed in, she capitalized. That's what's the most important thing. If you don't capitalize, it doesn't really matter, but she was able to do both, catch and score.
Dotson trying to get on the inside, broken up by York, and the Railroaders come away with it. Buchanan throws a wild shot. It's no good. Rebound goes down to C.C. Borchers. Borchers outlet pass to Lacey Flippo in the lineup.
Borchers, the leading scorer for the Raiders, averaging 13 points a game, hasn't even taken a shot yet.
And she was third in that County Player of the Year voting. Kate Sherman ahead of her, and right behind County Player of the Year, Ava Turner from Fort Laramie. As Hamilton brings the basketball up for the Raiders. Hamilton trying to get it over to Swick.
Yes, I would say they had 12 turnovers in the first quarter. Now they've got 13.
And Simone Putoff scores, and that's her first basket since she come back. She failed to score Saturday against Triad, and it's good to have her back, and she scores. Raiders with the basketball, and they turn it over. 34-2 with 6:44 to go here in the first half on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Brandon Coberman, Jeff Henshin giving you the action. We'll have Mrs. Sinuan Botkins, who the Raiders will play in the district semifinals. Here.
On Monday, correct? The 20th, or President's Day?
On President's Day at 7:30, as the shot is up and in by C.C. Borchers, and she gets in the box score.
Well, I mentioned her name, hadn't taken a shot. Next possession, they give her the ball. She hits down the mid-range jumper. Again, she's her leading scorer, 13 points a game for the Raiders, and also 5 rebounds.
Swick trying to get on the inside to Dotson, and it's turned over.
Again, pressure defense makes it very uncomfortable to try to run offense, and if you're not, let's say, gifted or comfortable in handling the basketball with that type of pressure, it's tough to make good decisions, and it's just a strong combination. The Raiders are able to do that with a lot of bodies, put a lot of pressure defense. And they play good secondary defense as you're kind of struggling with the basketball with pressure. The next line of defense, if you will, is anticipating and can see where the open pass is intended and step in front and create steals that way.
Borchers shot up, no good. Crickmore clears the boards. Crickmore trying to bring it up the court. Crickmore picks up her dribble, goes back over to Cheyenne Buchanan. Get up over to Swick. Swick gets over on the left side to Izzy Hamilton. Hamilton throws up a shot, and Hamilton is fouled and will go to the line and shoot 2.
Pretty aggressive move there. I thought she was trying to maybe look for her teammate, and her teammate turned and left, and then I think she thought, well, I've got to go now. I made a decision, and she went at the basket and was able to pick up a foul and have a chance here to score without that pressure defense in your face.
Hamilton's first shot, but now she's playing with a brace on her left knee. And Jayla Shappy, Ronnie Poling, Reese Gubo in the lineup. Bella Brewer back in for the Railroaders. Uh, 5:26 to go here in the first half. Raiders with a commanding line, and Hamilton stepped on the free throw line. That's something I've never seen called prior to even taking the dribble.
Well, you're not allowed to touch the line. I guess once you have the basketball in your hand, that constitute that, let's say the violation, because if you shoot it land on the line, obviously it's a violation, but kind of a rough call in that point of the game where sometimes people are just trying to slide their foot up to the mark on the floor, and nonetheless there's a turnover for the Raiders, and on the other end Borchers gets undercut or bumped, if you will, and we'll head to the line. 68% free throw shooter on the season for the first team Shelby County League player.
She cans the first one as Hellman's back in the lineup for the Railroaders as Hamilton heads out. Borchers, 3-year player on varsity, cans both free throws. She has 4 now. A 35-point lead for the Raiders.
3-year varsity player and probably a 4-year varsity volleyball player?
Yes, correct. And she'll play on the softball team again in the spring. And actually, these Railroaders and Raiders met in softball in the regional finals last year. The Railroaders did beat the Raiders 3-1 before falling in the state semifinals. They punched their ticket. They've been to that state tournament the last 2 years in softball of the Railroaders, winning the state title in 2021.
Do you remember who beat them last year? Because I was thinking a local team.
It was because they won state.
I thought it was a local. It wasn't a local team
that beat Bradford.
Yes.
No.
And maybe it was just because Bradford and Russia were playing together. I remember maybe that was a game I was thinking about.
Played at Wright State University just last spring, and a couple players on the floor that were in that game, and Izzy Hamilton was in that game for the Roaders, and for the Raiders, Jayla Shappy, Reese Gubo, and CC Borchers were on the team for that game. I think it might have been New Regal. I think I'm wrong. I'm taking a stab at it. I know when I hear the name, it'll be like a light bulb moment as the Roaders turn it over. And Addison Shappy back in the lineup for the Raiders. Let's say maybe started with an S.
We're going to find out here in a second, thanks to modern technology.
Because they beat whoever Bradford lost to in the semifinals, beat Lincoln View in the state finals, win the state championship.
Lincoln View that's who I was following because they didn't win it.
They got state runner-up.
Okay, that's who I was thinking about.
They got state runner-up in both baseball and softball last year.
Kendall
Bollenbacher
played on that team. And that's how the Lancer that I knew and was following.
Yeah. They got runner-up in both baseball and basketball.
And that's right. Their boys were down there in baseball as well.
Yep. They fell to the Russia Raiders in the state finals for baseball.
So there was the connection I was thinking about. It was the Lincoln View boys and girls both being there, and then the Raiders getting the boys in the state finals.
Swick on that right side. Swick looking to find a teammate, tries to get over to Dotson. Dotson going to fire up a shot well off the mark. It goes over to Jayla Shappy. Shappy kicks up ahead of Gubo. Gubo looking up the floor, gives up over to Kate Sherman on the inside. Poling going against Bella Brewer. And shot no good. Sherman goes up, is fouled, and it's stuck. Now let's see who's going to make an athletic move to go get this basketball. And it's going to be Ronnie Bowling. Gonna have to pull a boy out stand. That's awesome.
Good job for her. She got it on her first try, too.
Kate Sherman on the line for Russia shooting 2.
Sherman at the line, swishes the first one. As Claire Hill and Daphne Levy back in the lineup for the Roaders. And you may see on your camera there as Sherman misses the shot. The ball goes on the floor. We have a jump. It'll be Rotor possession. You may see the Mississinawa Valley Blackhawks sitting in the corner as Coach Paul Bremerton takes timeout. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. Our score, Russia 39, Bradford 2. We'll be back here next on NKTelco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Back here on NKTelco Sports, 39-2, Raiders ahead of the Bradford Railroaders here in sectional final basketball. 3:17 to the halftime intermission, and Raiders had 7-0 scoring-wise disadvantage after Jeff opening up a 32-2 lead.
Yeah, they've done it pretty dominating fashion. They slowed down a little bit here in the second quarter, but they obviously are good in all positions against Bradford. And Bradford, the ball possession has been very difficult. They've already committed now 18 turnovers in the first half, and soon to be number
19.
To answer your question, Division IV softball, Strasburg Franklin beat Bradford.
That's okay.
And then Lincoln View beat Jeromesville
Hillsdale.
Okay. It's called it, unless they misspelled it. And then championship game, Strasburg Franklin beat Lincoln View 3-2.
Okay. That's
solves that riddle. Boy, nice move. Borges had a nice screen, I think, from Sherman, who then comes back and cleans up the missed shot, but a good kind of pick and roll there by the Raiders.
And Kate Sherman with the bucket. Raiders looking to get out of this Sidney sectional for the 4th time in the last 6 years. As Daphne Levy up with the shot, it's no good. Hellman trying to clean it up, goes back out to Levy. Levy gets out to Shea Swick, and Swick nails it. Swick gets Bradford their first field goal of the game with 2:20 to go till halftime. On the inside over to Ronnie Poling. Shot up and in as Poling gets a quick response. She's got a sweet 16 now. Yep.
That was really a good move by Poling. I mean, she's a little bit taller, but boy, the defender was not vertical.
Yeah.
She was almost at a 45-degree angle, and Poling just muscled through it, got the ball above her head, and finished with a very nice shot. And, in a way, she might have to, probably good for her to get that type of work here, but it was a a very physical attempt she had to fight through to get the shot off.
Hill trying to go in the lane with the basketball. Hill shot up and just short. Rebound goes down to Sherman. Gubo looking to push up ahead, gets up to her cousin Cece Borchers, who stops in the lane for a little 10-footer. Shot's no good. Levy tracks down the rebound for the Roaders. Levy is on that left side.
So when you coach baseball this year, do your uniforms say Roaders across the front?
Say Railroaders.
Okay.
Just Roaders for short. It'd be
just announcers slang?
It'd be like it'd be like, I don't know. Like you say Knoxville you're from New Knoxville guy. Instead of saying New Knoxville, you say Knoxville.
Okay.
Something like that. I just
wondered, now that you teach at Bradford, you're going to be a baseball coach with Coach Bill Sturwald there at the high school level.
Yep.
Pretty good mentor and coach to follow, as they get a pretty good coach here to follow their baseball or lead their baseball program this year.
Yeah, 471 wins for Coach Sturwald. He's won 12 district titles, 2 state titles, 4 regional championships. He's coached a guy who's played Major League Baseball in Jared Hoying. Very excited for this spring. And we love the basketball season. It's been fun at NKTelco. I think I was telling you before the game, this is a 60th game of the year, and you've done quite a bit as well with ADN at Ohio Northern and doing your set of games. And we cross paths every now and then, but man, this should be over and back on the Raiders.
Yeah, yep, good call there. That was kind of a tricky one, as there was a battle, but the Raiders actually did throw it in the backcourt. But yeah, basketball here winding down the next few weeks in baseball season, and
Practice officially starts for baseball and softball on Monday as Isabella Hamilton returns to the lineup for the Rotors. So
some schools won't have an overlap because they're being eliminated as we speak. Well, the boys don't because their tournament basically starts next. Well, your Southwest
so
is you're in it.
Yeah.
Northwest District still has a regular season game to play. So, but yeah, the girls are being knocked off in halves. Half the teams are eliminated probably over the weekend, and the Northwest District is starting this week as well. So.
Yeah. You just have shorter times in between your games because the district, the regionals all start on the same day, so the Northwest just has a little less time in between games. It's always been interesting how they've done that. But
I think it's weird that Southwest has a boys and girls game tonight.
Yeah,
on the same
I
night.
agree
Why
with that
is that? To me, that shouldn't be. But that's why you said Rushie's boys. Did they win?
They did.
Okay, so
they were up 16 in the third quarter. I believe they were ahead in the fourth, too.
And that's being played at Piqua. So those people will have to go from that game, hustle up here.
Yep.
And obviously probably won't see this one.
Yeah, and
not very many.
Mrs. Cinewall will have enough time as Brooklyn Crickmore makes the first free throw.
Crickmore, her first bucket of their point of the game.
Crickmore's second shot is up and in for the junior.
She averages just under 3 points, 6'1". Her height, she's got nice height. She's got a good size to her. Obviously has some potential there.
The Raiders close out the first half, and they lead 43-6 over the Bradford Railroaders as we're at halftime. We'll step aside, come back with the second half of action here next on NKTelco Sports.
Lift your career to new heights with Crown, an innovative global leader in the material handling industry with over a 75-year history of growth and success. We're seeking career-minded candidates for a wide variety of entry-level and skilled positions in our new Bremen, New Knoxville, Salina, Minster, and other U.S. locations. Visit crown.jobs to apply or find us on social media by searching Careers at Crown.
Whether you do business from a corner store or a corner office, there is one asset your business cannot do without: the Internet. Everything from sales and marketing, training and shipping, PR, HR, and R&D, your business relies on a fast, reliable, and secure connection. And now, it's more important than ever to partner with an Internet provider you can trust. Get Flight Fiber for Business, backed by local tech support from NKTelco. Call today.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Halftime here at the Hive at Sidney High School. It's a 43-6 Rushi Raider lead over the Bradford Railroaders. And taking a look here at our first half stats brought to you by Wagner's IGA, Mr. Jeff Hinchin.
Well, pretty much dominated, as you mentioned. The Rushi Raiders shoot 17 of 36 from the field. That's just under 50%. Bradford just 1 of 8, only 8 shots taken for the Railroaders, and they made 1. They had 20 turnovers, so right there is a big asterisk. And Rushi just dominated the performance, so not much else you can say. It's all been Raiders. They had numerous girls score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different girls. They're led by Ronnie Poling with 16, 8 from Kate Sherman, 6 from Reese Gubo, 4 from Cece Borchers, 4 from Kelby Dosek, 2 apiece from Jayla Shappy and Simone Putoff, and 1 from Addison Shappy. Their total 43 and 4. Bradford, 3 players score 2 points each. Shaylee Swick, Riley Dotson, and Brooklyn Crickmore, each with 2 for the Raiders.
Raiders and Raiders start with their original starting 5 in the second half. Swick, Hamilton, Buchanan, Crickmore, and Dotson for the Raiders. And for the Raiders, it's Sherman, Poling, Borchers, Gubo, and Shappy. As Raiders come up with an empty trip on their first possession and try to get the ball on the inside to Crickmore, taken up ahead by Sherman. Up ahead on the left side to Jayla Shappy. Shot no good, but 2 free throws coming up for Shappy as we have a running clock this second half. With the Raiders being up by 35, the Raiders can eliminate that run clock if they get the lead under 30.
Shappy, a tough move there with the left hand. She's a right-handed player, but used her left hand, fought through the contact, gets rewarded the 2 free throws. She's 2 for 2, make that now 3 for 3. Always thought it's neat. She's shooting a free throw, and the PA announcer is saying her name as you're going through your rhythm. Now, it won't matter here, but she hit it, but just a little bit of overlap there.
And the Raiders will either face another WOAC opponent in Mississinawa Valley or Botkins, which will be the next game. You can stick around and purchase that for pay-per-view and listen to Jeff and I call that second game here on NKTelco.
That's going to be an exciting ball game. I mean, you got Mississinawa Valley, 20 wins on the season, I think it is. They're only a couple losses. One of those was to Tri-Village.
Yeah.
So, and Botkins had a nice season as well. So they've put together an above 500 season, and Sherman scores her 10th point of the game.
Yeah, and you know, you see these guys play. They played back in December. Mississinawa Valley won that game by 12, so it'll be a good matchup again between these two teams. The Raiders actually in the district semifinals last 2 years have beaten Botkins, so that may be a third year in a row that the Raiders play the Trojans in that district semifinal. If the Trojans can get over
you need a
Mississinawa
revenge
Valley.
or payback, if you will. So I didn't realize that Russia and Botkins had squared off 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it'll be their 3rd time in a row if Botkins
and then they play each other twice during the regular season, so they played each other 8 times in the past 3 years.
So we'll square up again. The Raiders swept that regular season series against Botkins. Actually, the first matchup of this game where Coach Bremerton got his 500th win. Same night as Coach Carla Siegel, which Dave Kanapke and I were talking, said that's got to never be done as Gubo's shots off the mark, where 2 coaches from the same league on the same night win their 500th game.
So Bremerton got his 500th win as a high school coach, varsity. Yep. On the same night, Coach Siegel, she did all hers with girls basketball, correct?
Yep.
I mean, so, yeah, that is a rarity.
Up ahead on the steal, Borchers misses the layup, pulling up ahead. Shot no good, fouled by Swick. And Shappy waiting for an official to give the basketball to. Usually one guy goes out and gets the signal for, hey, this is who the foul is on. One guy replaces and they hand off the basketball, and didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm not real sure the 3-man mechanics or the rotation. Someone didn't rotate properly, or
first shot out by Poling as Shappy and Putoff back in the lineup again. Raiders slowly working in. Simone Putoff will be interested to see if she gets in that starting lineup role again, or if she will kind of just come off the bench. But the Raiders again glad to have her back as Poling hits the 2nd free throw.
Yeah, that's the good thing. She's back, and whether she starts or plays, I mean, you need more than 5 anyways a lot of times to get things done. And if she can contribute coming off the bench, then, you know, let it be that way and just be the spark plug, if you will, coming in for the minutes you get from the sideline. You know, it all counts the same when you score or make a defensive play.
And Brooklyn Crickmore will go to the line.
She is 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Those are back in the 2nd quarter. Make it 3 for 3.
First free throw good by Crickmore as Avery Hellman will come in the lineup for the Roaders. And Izzy Hamilton will head out. Crickmore at the line, dips the knees, fires, and cannot connect. Sherman with the rebound, outlet over to Gubo. Gubo back over to Sherman. Goes back over to Addison Shappy on the jumper, and Addison Shappy nails the jumper. And Raiders up 49-7 on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard as Addison Shappy now has 3. Raiders get a steal up ahead over Reese Gubo. Gubo dishes it off over to Sherman. Back to Gubo, up and in.
That extra pass, I don't know if Gubo was expecting to get it back.
No.
Sherman did, and that was a tough shot. You don't expect it, and then you're on the baseline without a rim 3 feet away. So that's, I think, a tough touch shot because you're not real close and you're not far enough away to let it fly. So good job by Reese Gubo to knock it down.
Ball up ahead, Addison Shappy on the inside, Ronnie Poling. Poling goes up, shot's no good. Cleaned up by Sherman, too much on it. Hellman clears the boards. Avery Hellman looking up ahead. Hellman will hand it off over to, or try to hand it off over to Crickmore. She regathers. She does not have a dribble. She's got to find a teammate to give it up to. It's stolen by Poling initially, and Buchanan recovers it in the backcourt. Buchanan goes up off the right side. Dribbles back, trying to get over to Crickmore. It'll stay with the Rotors. As a plethora of substitutions come in, Borchers, Dosek, and Jenna York come in for the Raiders. As the clock continues to roll here, and Claire Hill also going to come in late substitution for Bradford. Swick will come out. Buchanan looking to get it in. Try to get it over to Dotson. Initially stolen by Putoff. Up ahead over to Borchers. Borchers looking up ahead. Borchers in the lane. Turns around. Gives it up over to Kelby Dosek, who puts it up and in. Kelby Dosek, 6.
Yep, now with 6. Nice move there, too. Good pass. The assist to Cece Borchers. And Dosek able to kiss it off the glass. And yeah, the Raiders continue to force turnovers. Right place, right time on the defense.
Ball up ahead over to Dosek on the inside. She turns around, gives it back up over to Shappy. Shappy over to Putoff on the right wing. Her three-pointer's no good. Hill cannot corral the rebound. It'll stay with the Raiders.
I think we're going the other way.
Oh, one of the went off a Hill.
Yeah, either Mark or Mike.
Yeah, Heminger, yeah.
I know the brothers. I've seen them before. I don't know which one's which right now. Pointed to the Bradford direction.
Yeah, as time winds down, the first of 2 SCAL versus WOAC games here. Again, this sectional has been reformed. Bradford does not typically play in this sectional. They usually play with other teams from the WOAC. They're a new team up here this year as Raiders get a steal up ahead to Borchers up and in. Usually you don't see Bradford, and Franklin Monroe's a new team that's here this year, along with Calvary Christian.
Could be because of enrollment, how teams move around. You have to keep certain amounts.
I think so. And the Raiders up ahead 55-7. As head of the fourth quarter of action, the Rooster Raiders lead the Bradford Raiders 55-7. We'll step aside. Come back with the fourth quarter of action here next on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Start of the fourth quarter of action here between Bradford and Russia here on NKTelco Sports. The Raiders will win a sectional championship here after the conclusion of the fourth quarter, and will either face Mississinawa or Botkins. Starting the fourth quarter here, Callie Gubo with a three-pointer. She misses. Freshman getting a chance to play with her sister here through the tournament run. Sister Reese has hit quite a bit of threes in her career. Riley Dotson with the basketball. Dotson trying to get it to Hill, bumped away by Gubo. The Raiders will start Callie Gubo, Faith York, Courtney Flippo, Kelby Dosek, and Jenny York in this fourth quarter. 3 freshmen, 2 seniors, as Gubo on the right side fires a 3, shot no good. Rebound goes down to Claire Hill of the Rotors. Claire Hill brings the basketball up for Bradford, trying to work on Gubo. It's back over to Dotson, back to Hill, and they turn it over as Courtney Flippo steals it. York up over on the right side to Faith York, back over to Flippo, right side to Callie Gubo. They're trying to run through offense here. Go over to Faith York, back over to Callie Gubo. Go back over to Dosek on the inside. Dosek gets tied up. Jump ball. Arrow favors the Rotors as they force a turnover. In for the Raiders, Shea Hammonds, Kylie Dosek, and Lacey Flippo. And in for the Bradford Railroaders is Daphne Levy. You see Hamilton again back in again. Bradford will graduate 4 seniors off this team. Number 1, Shea Swick. Number 5, Isabella Hamilton. Number 23, Cheyenne Buchanan. And number 30, Bella Brewer. Will all graduate off this Bradford team for first-year coach Josh Seedling. Again, that's the toughest part, Jeff, about tournament basketball is you have to say you always see seniors that have to say goodbye to a sport they put time in, as Courtney Flippo scores.
That is. It's always every school goes through it, though. But I think it's called attrition. You rotate players through, and you have your limited time to perform, and you do your best, and you move on and lay the footwork for others to come, and lead by example the best that you can.
Again, only one team can hold that trophy at the end of the year. And
yeah, so a lot of teams think, man, our season was bad. I mean, there's 4 teams that will win their last game.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way, and there's probably hundreds, how many hundreds, 600 teams?
800, yeah. It's 800, yeah.
Probably a couple hundred in each division.
Yeah. Roughly about 200 in each division. And it's never easy, It's tough, but it's the nature of the beast. It's why you play the game.
Going in, there's a winner and there's a loser. If you don't like those risk rewards, then don't play.
Exactly.
So, like I said, it's just a game. You compete hard, you play hard, and take some pride in what you do.
Hammonds on the inside, kicks out to Courtney Flippo, well short on the 3-point attempt, and there's a jump ball. And it's going to be Rotor basketball. Shea Swick returns to the lineup for Claire Hill. Hamilton will bring the basketball up the floor. She had that brace on her left knee. As Bradford or Mrs. Sinoa getting ready to play. Shot up and in for Izzy Hamilton.
Her first 2 points of the ball game, and you mentioned in the corner there, you see Miss Sinoa Valley. As we'll look at them when they come back down here, they have those black and white striped pants. Bradford came out tonight. They had the orange and black striped warm-up pants, so eye-catching, and you can see them over there on the right side of your screen. That's Mississinewa Valley.
Foul there on the Raiders as Hellman was trying to get to the basket. Cheyenne Buchanan and Brookwood Crickmore back in.
You can dress 15 players on your varsity roster, and Rushi has utilized all 15 jerseys this year. You mentioned with some of the injuries and stuff, with people being out for the season, that has allowed some of the younger girls, freshmen and such, to put a body in that jersey tonight. And you mentioned the girls that were out, Carly Scott and Maya Monin and Grace Holscher. I think those are 3 of them. Put off his back, but those 3 ladies you mentioned not in uniform tonight, but definitely part of the team as well. And I guess willingly or not, they allowed another underclassman to kind of, let's say, join the tournament run.
Courtney Flippo coming for her sister Lacey Flippo.
Free throw there by Shaylee Swick was good. Her 3rd point of the game. Make it 4 points for her.
So Swick scores. And again, advantage the Raiders do have playing on the court. They do play Sidney to open up the season every year.
But half home and home.
Yeah, half and half, home and home. So some years they do get familiar with the score. No, they did not. But they play that game often enough to play every year, so you get somewhat familiar with the floor. You have that are familiar with the floor as Courtney Flippo scores there.
She has 4 points, if I'm not mistaken, here in the quarter.
This Raider team very veteran after the conclusion of this season. Raiders going to have a lot of pieces that they'll need to replace, but a JV team had a solid season with 16 wins on the season for the JV roster. It's Callie Gubo going to let a 3 fly. It's off the mark. Kylie Dosek grabs the rebound, straddles the baseline, gives it up over to Courtney Flippo. Flippo, shot no good. Rebound on the inside to Kylie Dosek. There's a jump ball. It'll favor the girls in gold. The Golden Girls, so to speak.
Yeah, but they're 17 years old or 16 or 15. Probably some of them can't even drive yet. Not golden yet, but wearing the road gold/yellow jerseys.
Goes in over to Faith York. York gets it up over to Courtney Flippo. Over to Kubo.
I think Kubo might be a little gun shy. She's attempted about 3 of them. Haven't dropped any. It's different when you're burying them all and everyone's yelling to shoot it, but
shot up by Kylie Dosek, no good. Goes out of bounds, and it'll be Bradford basketball. Dotson will bring the basketball before Riley Dotson, the freshman, will be back next year. As she tries to go to that left side, gives it up over to Daphne Levy. Levy back over to Hellman. Hellman shot up, rattles around and out. Callie Gubo clears the boards. Head over to Faith York. York stops in transition. Shot is up, no good. Rebound down to Brooklyn Crickmore. As Crickmore up ahead. Crickmore trying to go to the basket. Has got it taken away by Faith York, and York is fouled by Crickmore in the backcourt.
That might just about do it here with the running clock.
And it'll be a 59-11 edge for the Raiders as Coach Paul Bremgen yells to hold it, and the Raiders are sectional champions by defeating the Bradford Railroaders by the final score of 59-11. As we take a look at our sponsors here on NKTelco Sports. They are Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, the Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, and NKTelco. Our additional sponsors are Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Deckman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Park National Bank, SecureCom, and the St. Henry Bank. I'd also like to remind you that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of girls high school basketball on NKTelco Channel 3 or on HDL Channel 503. Catch replays of this game Tuesday, March 14th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, March 18th at 12 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. And with our final numbers brought to you by Wagner's IGA, Mr. Jeff Finchen.
Quick recap here as we prepare for the next game. Leading scorers in the basketball game for Bradford: Shirley Swick with 4, 2 from Isabella Hamilton, 2 from Riley Dotson, 3 from Brooklyn Crickmore, their total of 11. And for your sectional champions tonight, 17 points from Ronnie Poling, 10 from Kate Sherman, 8 from Reese Gubeau, 6 from Cece Borchers, 6 from Kelby Dosek, 4 from Courtney Flippo, 3 apiece from Jayla Shappy and Addison Shappy, and 2 from Simone Putoff. Their total of 59.
And before we leave here, I'd like to name our NK player of the game, brought to you by NKTelco, and we're going to go with...
I'll go with Ronnie Poling. She had 14 points in the first quarter, and a lot of girls played well, but she really got them off to a good start and made sure they didn't get off to a slow start or overlook the competition. She buried 7 of her first 8 shots. Congratulations to Ronnie Poling, our NKTelco player of the game.
So the Raiders will return and play at 7:30 on Monday night here at Sidney High School, either against Botkins or Mrs. Sinawa, the winner of this game, and we'll have that game for you live here on NKTelco Sports. So if you're a Raiders fan wanting to watch that game, you can tune in, buy the pay-per-view package, and we'll have it for you here 7:30. Rough estimates start depending on the completion of the first game of the night between the Jackson Center Tigers and the Fort Laramie Redskins. As you see the Trojans and the Blackhawks take the court, we will step aside, take a break, come back with the second game here tonight of our doubleheader. Jeff Hinch and I'm Brandon Coverman. We'll catch you here in a little bit back here on NKTelco Sports.